Good day, everyone. Good day, Lusatech students and everyone who decided to join us today. We are going to be looking into a very important topic that has got more to do with management, right? We are all aware that these course that we are talking about is health and safety management course, which then we can put it in an acronym as SHEMTRAP. But at the end of the day, it's about safety, health, environment management. So it's very important that we do talk about management at some point. So the topic that we are going to talk about here is management. So let's get in there. First and foremost, let's look into what is it that we can define and say what do managers do. Because going back to the OHS Act, which is our reference point all the times, like I said, we are going to continuously go back to OHS Act and refer to it. If you go to OHS Act, Section 8, Section 8 clearly states that we need to provide a safe working environment for all our employees, right? By all means, right? So in this situation, we are here now and we are trying to discuss that, to say, how would you provide a safe working environment at your workplace? It means that the management or the owner of the company or the company in general will then decide to say, let us employ a safety officer who happens to be you there. You are an aspiring safety officer or you are already a safety officer. So what does a safety officer do? A safety officer is running the company in terms of safety, right? Is going to be running the company in terms of safety in such a way that the manager is not there at your workplace, right? In such a way that the owner of the company is not there at the workplace, in such a way that the CEO is not there at the workplace. But in actual fact, you are there as their representative, right? So as their representative, it basically means that you are the manager because you are representing them in doing what? In making sure that Section 8 of Occupational Health and Safety Act is being fulfilled, and many other parts, of course, together with the regulations that come thereof. Right? So now that we have understood why we are talking about management, then we need to move on to the next step where we then talk about what exactly is it that is management. Management is a process. It's not a once-off thing with I'm a manager or I'm managing. It is a process because it becomes a combination of various tasks or functions. So if you combine these functions into one, they become management. Or if these functions are done one after the other, haphazardly or in that order, then it becomes what we call management. Let's look at these functions. Number one, managers, they do plan. They do planning. So planning is part and parcel of management. Just like anybody else out there, you would want to plan first before you would just do anything, right? So that being said, we are now talking about planning is one of the most important part that managers do. What you do here is that you are going to sit down and arrange your thoughts in such a way that you are able to make list of what do you plan in terms of your aims, your objectives, right? What are you planning in terms of strategies? What are you planning in terms of targets? Right? So when you have done all these, that's when you can then say, you know what, I am actually I have planned here. I have planned, and I'm planning, right? So basically, it means that you are arranging thoughts in such a way that you are able to then come up with a list of your aims, your objectives, your strategies, your tasks, and all these things that you would want to probably achieve, right? When you are done planning, because planning is putting things in thoughts first, you have not taken action as yet. It's still putting things in thoughts. So it's your thoughts here, whether you are listing them down or you just planning by your head or whichever way you are doing it. But what is very important here is that you are carrying out an activity that involves no action as yet. In this particular point, where what are you doing? You are just planning. Okay. After planning, you need to move on to organizing with people. You need to move on to organizing. Now, when you are organizing, you are now looking into your plans, and you are now taking from your plans that what are the resources that I need to bring forth for me to perform what I want to perform, or for me to reach the targets that I want to reach. So at this moment now, what are you doing? You are now collecting resources, right? You are going around collecting the resources that you need. This can include staffing, right? Which can be part of organizing. You are now running around getting human resource, right? Because organizing is all about bringing resources to effect. So you are going to run around, get resources, human resource, which is your staff. Once you have organized that, you are going to move on to the next step and organize equipment, materials that you are going to be using. So that's organizing, right? Once you have organized, you would then need to actually then go to the next step, where you need to coordinate and lead these resources that you have organized, right? In this situation now, you are now making them work for you. You are now making these resources work for you, right? That's the situation where you are actually saying, I'm now coordinating these resources, or I'm leading these resources, or I am directing them for them to work. All right. So finally, you would then want to control, because now you have planned, you have organized, you have coordinated these things to work. You would want to then control them. Controlling would include your evaluations, your monitoring, your reviews, and probably providing feedback back into the system. At that moment, that's where we can sum up and say you are managing, right? So management becomes that process where these 4 items, which can be broken down into further more items if you want them to be extended functions. For instance, under coordinating, you can put motivating as part of it, right? You can break down, for example, on organizing, you can actually separate organizing and staffing to be different items. But eventually, what are you doing here? You're talking one and same thing. So you can easily combine all of them and put them in a 4 brackets, which is your planning, your organizing, your coordinating, and your control. That way, you will be done with the whole functions of management, right? Okay. Now, here is a thing, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to cut my lesson short because we just lost electricity here. I'm not sure what's happening. I think it's a technical problem out there with municipality. But once the electricity is back, I am going to record this lesson and send it to everyone. My apologies for this, because as you can see, even my face is no longer that clear, and my laptop battery is very low because of electricity. Therefore, it will be very difficult for me to continue with the lesson. Therefore, let's meet, or I will be able to post this lesson as soon as I'm stable. Thank you very much.